Was it good? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Uh,
What did you do this weekend? Nothing special? Okay. Just relaxing is good enough, right? If you relaxed, that's okay. All right,
okay.
Manu. So let's take a look at our Google Classroom here. We have the program for today. Today we should have the test from units 4, 5, and 6, right? And next class we start unit 7. But I don't know, I saw some messages on WhatsApp, people asking about the class today. I don't know why. Let me see what I did last class with you. Let me just go back here so I can see what we posted. Look, can you see
Hi,
that? Hi, Rebecca. Good afternoon. How's it going?
good afternoon.
Hey, oh my God. Were you sleeping?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I can see that, but that's okay, no problem. Monday is always really difficult, right? We are so tired but that's okay. It's normal. I'm tired too. I'm tired too. So I'm showing you guys the posts that I made last week so you can see what's going on, right? And then you can help me understand the confusion. Some students are sending messages saying something about the test. So let's say we posted last week the topics for, hi, Mateus, good afternoon. How's it going? Good to see you, Mateus. Hi, good afternoon. Good to see you. Oh, how nice. I'm glad to see you guys. So I'm showing here our Google Classroom posts from last week. Okay, so we finished Unit 6 and we did the review on Tuesday, on Thursday, I think, right? Excuse me. I'm sorry, guys. And I put here the date of the test. So I don't know if something changed after that. Today, I posted here that we would have the test, okay, from units 4, 5, and 6, okay? So did you have a chance to study for your test?
Yes.
Okay, good. It's not complicated because it's just a review of something that you saw on units 4, 5, and 6. So nothing much really. Here is our attendance for the month of May, okay, here. And let me put the attendance right there to see who is here now and so I don't forget. Who is there with you, Mateus? Can you tell me, please? Yes, who is with you there, Mateus? So here we have Manu, okay, and Rebecca here too, okay, and all right. Who is there with you, Mateus? Can you hear me? Yeah, not so well, but a little. Um, your microphone is distant. So
Eli,
who is with you there?
just
Just Elias.
Elias.
Okay.
Yeah, someone changed the microphone to the webcam, so I was using the microphone of the webcam, but just Elias.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Now I can hear you much better. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mateus. Just putting the attendance here. So guys, let me first of all ask you if you have any questions about the units, right? I will try to open here our material and see if you have any questions about the content from units 4, 5, and 6. Okay? So just a moment. Okay, guys, I'll go there. Just a moment. Let me open up the book here to review the content from those 3 units so you don't have any questions. Everything is all right. Okay? And then we can do the test on Wednesday. No problem. All right? So let's see, guys. We did, I think the last time we were together, we were checking the first, I think the first and the second units, unit 4 and unit 5. Do you have any questions? Let's see about unit 4, guys. Let me zoom in here. Is everything okay about
Elias,
unit 4?
Elias said exercise number 2. He has some.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Mateus. Let's check it. So this is, so everybody knows, we are on page 150, okay? This is the review from unit 4. So let's go, Elias. Exercise number 2. What's your question?
Teacher, I
Yes.
don't understand exercise number 3.
Okay, all
Little
right. Okay.
and little.
Is it the one that says, look at the moon over the ocean? It's so beautiful. Yes?
No, no, bro. Teacher,
Yes.
é o grama, é o de baixo, é o número 3, é o de baixo.
Oh, okay. Grammar. All right. Yeah, it's because Mateus had said number 2. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, I misunderstood. Okay, so let's see the grammar. Exercise number 3. Very good. Complete the sentences with how much or how many. So here we need to remember a very important point. We ask questions with how much when we are talking about uncountable nouns, things we cannot count. So we usually say how much sugar, how much coffee, how much violence, okay? And we use how many for countable nouns, things we can count, all right? Things that usually have plural form, okay? So example, how many people, how many cars, how many apples, all right? So let's see the exercise. I will zoom in so you can see better, okay? Let's go. Okay, so the first one, I'm going shopping for the picnic. Tomatoes do we need? It's a question. And I want to know the quantity of tomatoes that we need. So 1 tomato, 2, 3. What's the quantity? So the question should be how many? Okay? Especially because tomatoes is countable. I can count. I can say 1 tomato, 2 tomatoes, 3 tomatoes. All right? So on and so forth. Now, let's see letter B, the answer, okay? Just, we already have some in the refrigerator. So it means that I don't need a big quantity. I don't need a big amount of tomatoes. Sorry, I just need a small amount. So here we have 2 ways to describe or to express a small amount. We have a few and a little. I use a few for countable nouns, things I can count. Like, for example, tomatoes. A little I use to express a small amount, but of things I can't count. All right. So I can say, for example, we have just a little time to study. I do many things during the day and I have a little time to study. All right. Or I just have little time to study. It's also very, I just have little time to study is also very common. I think it's even better to say that without a, okay? But sometimes if I ask, for example, this question here, look, how much coffee? We know that coffee is uncountable, okay, guys? So how much coffee do you drink, suppose, okay? So let's go there. Then the answer can be, if you don't drink a lot of coffee, if you don't drink much coffee, if you just drink a small amount, like 1 cup per day, you can say just a little. All right. So here, suppose this,
Asking
yes, you are asking someone, and then your answer is, I only drink a small amount of coffee. I don't drink much coffee. I just drink 1 cup per day, right? So I can say just a little. Why not just a few? I can't say here just a few because coffee is uncountable. I can't count, all right? Now, if I ask, for example, another question, how many apples, for example, do you need for the cake? Suppose, guys, I'm trying to make an apple or an apple pie. Let's see here. I'm going to change here because in the United States, we usually like to make apple pies, all right? So how many apples do you need for the pie? And then to answer and say that I don't need a lot of apples. I just need a small amount. So I can answer like this here. Wow. I can say just a few. Okay. I can't say here just a little because I use a few for countable nouns and apples is countable. I can count. So when I say that I want need a small amount or a small quantity, I should say, oh, just a few. All right, guys. Okay. Or you can answer the exact number of apples that you need. Oh, just 2 apples or just 3 apples. All right. So this is the first part. Now here the answer is how many tomatoes? Just a few. Okay. Now the next one. Okay, and how much lemonade should I buy? Why am I asking how much and not how many? Do you know?
Lemonade is not countable.
Very good. Lemonade is uncountable. I can't use lemonade in the plural. There is no plural form for lemonade. So I have to use how much lemonade, just how much, like how much coffee, for example. Okay, these words, okay, they are uncountable. If I want to count the amount of lemonade, I have to use a container. For example, 1 glass of lemonade. I can say that one glass, 2 glasses of lemonade. But then I have to use the container, a glass, a bottle, okay, a liter. These are ways that help me measure or count some things that are uncountable. So I can totally say, oh, I would like a glass of lemonade. I would like a glass of lemonade. All right. Here, I'm just saying the word lemonade. Then it's uncountable. So how much lemonade should I buy? Then the answer, please get a lot. It's going to be really hot on Saturday. So here we have 2 possibilities, a lot and a little. The first one means a big amount, a big quantity. The second, a little, means a small quantity. I can use both for uncountable nouns. I can say a lot and I can say a little, but I have to read the sentence to see which one makes more sense, the first one or the second one. Oh, the first one makes more sense because here it says it's going to be really hot. Sorry, it's going to be really hot on Saturday. So if you understand the meaning of the sentence, you will choose a lot. Okay? All right, Elias. Okay. Um, I can use then after this, I know I can use a lot for both countable and uncountable. But this is only when the quantity is big, right? Oh, a lot. I drink a lot of coffee. Suppose here in the first question, my answer is that I drink 10 cups of coffee in a single day. 10. So I drink a lot of coffee. I could say here if the my answer is a lot. I could say here, suppose my answer is to say that I drink a lot of coffee. So I just say here a lot, only that to make it short, okay? How much coffee do you drink? A lot. All right, so I have 2 possibilities there. Or I say a little, or I say a lot, okay? One or the other. Okay, of course, guys, these are 2 extremes, all right? There is always a place in the middle. If you don't drink a little and you don't drink a lot, you can say, oh, I drink some coffee during the day, about 4 or 5 cups per day, okay? So, but here we have the 2 opposites. So as it is going to be really hot, a lot is better. Now let's see the next one. We have here the word plates. Plates is in the plural, so it's countable. Look at the question. How many plates should I get? Okay, then the answer is lots of people are coming to the picnic, so get about 50. So as I'm using a countable noun in the plural, then I should say how many. All right, people. I want to know the quantity I should buy. Okay, and then the person says lots of people. People is countable. It's also countable. So I can say lots of or a lot of people in this sentence, especially because it's affirmative. So in affirmative sentences, I can use lots of or a lot of. They are okay. All right. Now, does anybody have any questions about this? We can do an exercise about it. Let's try to practice then, so you can reinforce the idea of how many and how much, a few and a little. Yes, let's practice a little bit. So let's go. Can I clear my annotations? Yes, can I clear here?
Sure.
Yes.
Try again. Unit 5, grammar 4.
Exercise unit 5. Okay, let's go there. Sure, let's go there. Okay, here we are. This is unit 5. We had the first one here and then the second. Which one is that, guys? Is it exercise number 3 or number 4? Oh, here. Yeah.
No, grammar number 4.
Okay. All right. I got it. Thank you. Okay, let's see, guys. Choose the correct form of the verb. Is that one? Yeah? So number 1, today we're studying for a big test. So here is for you to decide which verb form I should use, okay? And as you can see, guys, I have here the word today, okay? So this is an indicator. Let's take a look there. I'm going to maybe color in green. I don't know if, let me make it bigger here. So when I have words like today, at the moment, now, this month, this week, okay? Let me put the list of words that indicate the use of the present continuous, okay? Let's take a look there. Words like today, at the moment, now, right now, this week, this month, and let me just add down here, it's better, this year. Hey guys, these words that you can see there, they indicate that something is temporary, okay? So let me write the word here. They give us a temporary idea. So when I express an activity using these time expressions, the idea I'm giving is that something is going to finish soon or something is temporary. It's only happening within that period of time. For example, when I say today, I'm being very limited. I'm just saying that it's today. So what is happening today? You see, automatically I use the present continuous because it's temporary. So especially today, we are studying for a test. Our test won't be big, but it's a test, okay? So temporary idea, we use the verb tense called present continuous. This is one possibility to use the present continuous. It's when the idea of something I'm saying is temporary, okay? And here we have the time expressions that help me identify temporary ideas in a question or exercise, okay? So the first one here has the word today. So it indicates the present continuous action, all right? Now let's see number 2. Number 2, we have I'd like. And then we have three options. How to build and program a robot. So I'd like means I would like to do something. So let's see here. Let me write here. This is not a temporary idea. This is, I'm expressing a wish. I'm expressing something that I want to do. Okay, so this expression here, I'd like, is the same as I would like. Okay, the same thing. It has the same, it's just the abbreviation or the contracted form of I would like. And after this expression, I must use infinitive. Okay, so here, I would like, I always have to put here with infinitive. This is a form that helps me express a desire. I wish, like something that I want to do. Like now, for example, I'd like to review the 4 units, 4, 5, and 6. That's my wish. That's our wish. We would like to review. We wouldn't like to have a test today. We would like to review. Okay, so if you tell me, suppose, right, in the beginning, oh, Simone, I know the test is planned for today. I don't know, maybe you forgot, but today we would like to review. That's okay, no problem, right? So you see, even if I say the word today, after I'm saying we would like or we'd like. So when I use this structure, I'm expressing a wish. And then after that, I must use infinitive, okay? So here, the best option and the only correct option is I'd like to learn, okay? The other two here are impossible, all right? So I'd like to learn how to build and program a robot, right? Now let's see the next ones up there, just a moment. First, guys, I need to clear the annotations because they move as I move the page. They move with the page. So have you already taken a picture or copied the annotations here? Can I clear them?
Yes,
Yes?
teacher.
Okay, thank you. So let's go up. All right, so here in exercise number 3, we have what do you, and then we have 3 options for fun. So here we have an auxiliary. So we need to pay attention to the auxiliary we have in the question. This case here, the auxiliary is do, okay? So let me highlight here with yellow to show that, oops, sorry guys, my bad. Sorry about it. Let me erase this part. So this auxiliary is an indicator of simple present, okay, people? So when I use do or does, I am conjugating a verb in the simple present. So here, after this auxiliary, I should look for a verb in the simple present, not in the present participle, which is ing, and not in the infinitive form. It has to be in the simple present. So here, what do you do for fun? That's the best option, okay? Now here, if my question were, suppose, okay, with the other auxiliary, example, instead of do, I have does, and then I have the subject he. So imagine that I had this form, okay, or these words. What does he da, 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 for fine? It would be the same answer. What does he do for fine? Because does is also an auxiliary of the simple present. I can use do or does depending on the subject. So after do or does, I have to use a verb in the simple present. Okay? And it's always a base form. It's not a verb like in the third person. We use he does, she does, or he works. I have to use the base form of the verb because here we have a question. And I know that for questions in the simple present, I always use the base form of the verb. All right? We have the auxiliary and we have the base form. And here, the only one is do. Okay? What do you do? What does he do? What does she do? Okay, guys? All right. So, number 4. My friend often cakes. Okay, we have another indicator of the simple present. When I see words like often, usually, always, never, these are adverbs of frequency and they indicate the simple present tense. So here, let's highlight that. I'm going to use the same color so it helps you define and identify as well. So here we have the word often, okay? Often is the same as, let's say, 80%. 80% of the time, my friend, which verb here is in the simple present? The first one, the second, or the third? The first, okay? This one here is ing form, and it's usually used in the present continuous, which is not the case. The third one is the infinitive form. So when I use the simple present, when I have expressions like often, I'm talking about routine. Okay, I'm saying the frequency with which something happens. So here I need to use the simple present. And as the subject is my friend is equivalent to the third person singular. And then this is the way I should conjugate the verb with this suffix s here, okay? So my friend often bakes, all right? Number 5, we decided not. Now here, we can see that it's not the simple present anymore. Here, I can identify a verb in the simple past. We decided. And after, we have the word not. So here, I have to see what kind of verb do I use after the verb decide. So this lesson here is about verb patterns. Verb patterns, let me write that for you. It's when we know which verb to use after certain verbs. So we call that topic in grammar, the topic is verb patterns. All right. So a verb pattern or the verb pattern is for us to decide if a verb should be, we have two forms, okay, of verb pattern. Or after the verb, I'm going to use ing, or I'm going to use infinitive, okay? Infinitive, I have two forms. I can use the infinitive with the particle to, okay? Can be to plus the verb, or I can use just the verb without the particle to, okay? So, or only the verb. So here, in the infinitive form, I can have the two situations. I have to see now, after the verb decide, which one should I use? Should I use a gerund? Gerund is the name of the form. It's not a verb tense. Like in Portuguese, we say gerund and we know it's the present continuous in Portuguese. In English, the word gerund has a different meaning, okay? Gerund is the same as the suffix. It's just when I put a suffix ing in a verb, then it becomes a gerund. But it doesn't have the meaning of present continuous. No, it's not a temporary action. It's just a verb modification because I'm using the correct verb pattern. So it's just a suffix ing that I use in special verbs. There are some special situations where I need to use a gerund form. So this is not a verb tense. When I talk about ing here, I'm talking about the gerund, okay? So, and gerund, as I said before, is not a verb tense. It's a verb form. All right, guys? So here, verb pattern, what is that? If somebody asks you, what the hell is verb pattern? Oh, it's knowing what to use after certain verbs. Certain verbs, when they take another verb, I have to see if I'm going to use a gerund or if I'm going to use an infinitive. So let's see here. In question number 5, I have the verb decide. In the past, doesn't matter the tense, okay? But it's the verb decide. After the verb decide, what should I use? Should I use a gerund or an infinitive form? So here we have, it's negative, right? So after the verb decide, we know negative or affirmative doesn't matter. I have to use infinitive. So we decide to do something. It's always like this, okay? If it's negative, we decide not to do. This is the negative form of the infinitive. When I use infinitive, I put the negative like this. I make the negative, using the word not before the infinitive. It's different when I make the negative of the simple present, for example. The simple present, we just say don't or doesn't. I don't like this. She doesn't like this. I just conjugate the auxiliary. In the infinitive form, the negative has no auxiliary. I have to just use the word not before the infinitive verb. So, for example, I can say here, let me write down here, negative infinitive, okay? I'm going to put here, example, try not to make mistakes. Suppose, okay? I'm trying to tell someone not to make mistakes. So I can say try not to make mistakes, okay? So this is only to help me here make an example, give you an example of negative infinitive. All right, people. Why am I saying that? Because after verbs like decide, I have to use negative. I have to use negative, sorry. I have to use infinitive, okay? And the infinitive can be affirmative or negative. If it's negative, then I have to use the word not before the infinitive verb. Here, an example we've decided, okay? Let's say, I decided not to give a test today, okay? So I decided not to give a test today. It's better to say in another way, like here, we decided not to have a test today, okay? I would rather say that. But let's analyze the verb decide, and here infinitive. And it's negative, so I use the word not to make the negative infinitive. So we decided not to have a test today. All right. If it's affirmative, then we should say, we decided to have a test today. All right. That's the reason why in number 5, I have to use the infinitive here. The other two forms are not appropriate. They are wrong. Okay, guys, because of the verb decide. All right, so far so good. Yes. Now, let's see number 6. My phone isn't at the moment. So here I have an indicator. Actually, I have 2 indicators of the present continuous. Look, we have here the verb to be, okay? So that's a very strong indicator of present continuous. So let me put this in green. I think I'm using green. Let me see if I'm using green for that. Just a second. Let me go down a little bit just to, yes, I'm using green. So let me just use the same color, okay, guys, to help you decide and also identify what to use. So here I have one indicator, the verb to be. Usually when I have the verb to be in the sentence and I have one more verb, the second verb is in the present participle, or the verb tense I need to construct is the present continuous because of the existence of the verb to be. Okay, so this is one indicator. The second indicator is the time expression at the moment. So here we have, look, at the moment means that something is temporary. It's a temporary action, okay? So my phone isn't working at the moment. It's only at the moment, okay? So in the future, I might have the problem solved, but at the moment, my cell phone isn't working, all right? So the best option here is working. The other ones are not okay, all right? I don't use the verb to be with a simple present verb, and I don't use the verb to be with an infinitive verb, okay? Infinitive form doesn't take verb to be before, okay? So it's not correct. So guys, make sure you copy or take a picture of the explanation I give here because they may be useful. in the future. Okay. All right, can I clear my annotations? Yes? Okay, let me clear that. All right, people. So let me see who asked for. Is it okay, guys? Is everybody okay with this exercise? So Unit 5 talks about present continuous and simple present. And it also talks about verb patterns, which is what to use after certain verbs, okay? So like example here, I'd like to learn, decide, decide to do. There are so many other verbs. I think I posted a list of verbs that take infinitive. Let me take a look there. Just a second. I'll check out our Google Classroom to see if I post a list of verbs to help you remember what to use. Okay? Let me go there just a second. Let's go there. Let me zoom out here and then go to, okay. So here we are, Unit 6, and the exercise is number 4. All right, people. So let's see there. I will zoom in so you can, okay. So choose the correct word or phrase to complete each sentence. So in this lesson, we already know that we have the modal verbs have to and don't have to, okay? And we saw the modal verb should, okay? So have to or don't have to. This is necessity, not necessary. When I say have to, I'm saying that something is necessary. When I say don't have to, something is not necessary. Okay? And here, the idea of have to can also be a little stronger, and it can also mean obligation. Okay? It can also be used to talk about obligation. But don't have to is always when something is not necessary, okay? The other one we saw here was should, okay? And the negative, should not. And if I contract, it becomes shouldn't, okay? This is also a modal verb, okay? So modal verbs, guys, they are usually used together with another verb that we call the main verb. These are but auxiliaries. They are just auxiliaries, okay? Just like can. Can is also a modal verb. So as you know, the function of modal verbs is to work as auxiliaries, and they have a meaning. They have really, they give the idea of the sentence. They give the meaning to the sentence. It's different from the auxiliary verbs do, does, did. They just signal the verb tense, but they don't have any meaning. If I use a question, for example, suppose I ask a question, do you like pizza? I always like to ask this question. Sorry. Do you like pizza? If you see here, I'm using do because I want to signal it's a question, and I'm conjugating the simple present. That's the only reason I use the auxiliary do. And of course, I know that this subject here takes the auxiliary do, but there is no meaning. When I ask this question, do doesn't have any meaning, all right? It's just there to signal the simple present question. But here, The modal verbs, they have a meaning. That's the difference. And that's why we call them modal verbs. So here, this is not a modal verb, okay? Let's erase here, okay? And when I talk about modal verbs, there is a list, okay? These are only some of them. So let's see the first one here. I here have two modal verbs, have to and can. And then we have the main verb, clean. I clean my apartment today. My parents are visiting tomorrow. So look here, I have to understand the meaning of the sentence to use the appropriate modal verb, because the modal verb gives meaning to the sentence, to the situation. So here, what is the meaning? Clean my apartment today. My parents are visiting tomorrow. Oh, so it's necessary. I have to do it. So there is a necessity here. I have people coming over tomorrow, so I need to clean my apartment today. I have to use this one. Can is just possibility. That's not the meaning. The meaning here is necessity. So the modal verb, the choice of modal verb I'm going to use depends only on the meaning. What's the meaning I want to give to my sentence? Possibility, necessity, obligation, prohibition, probability. These are all meanings I use when I use a modal verb. These are all the possible meanings modal verbs can give us. Okay, in this case, the meaning is necessity. So number two, you buy milk. Okay, here I have to use a modal verb and I have the main verb buy milk. Let's read all the sentence. We already have some. So if I'm saying something about buying milk and I'm saying that we already have some, so I understand that it's not necessary to buy milk because we already have milk at home. So it's not necessary. Which modal verb gives the idea of not necessary? Don't have to. Okay? So if I use can't, then I'm expressing a different idea and it doesn't make sense here. It's not the meaning. The meaning is it's not necessary, not that it's not possible. No, that's not the meaning, okay? So you don't have to buy milk is the best option, okay? Number three, we have here two modal verbs and we have the main verb go. So we go to that restaurant tonight. It's closed on Mondays. So we have a situation here. The restaurant is closed on Mondays. Probably here it's Monday because they are saying we go to that restaurant tonight. So there is an impediment, okay? So what is the idea here? Is that something is not possible or that something is not a good idea? Oh, the idea here is that something is not possible because if I say we shouldn't go to that restaurant tonight, I'm saying that it's not a good idea. If you want, you can go, but it's not a good idea. Do you think that's the idea of the sentence? Just to say that it's not a good idea, or the idea of the sentence is to say that it's not possible? What is the best idea there? The idea here is to say that it's not possible because it's closed. So if something is closed, is it possible to go to a restaurant that is closed? Do you think it's possible? If something is, yes, no, if something is closed, we don't have any choice. We have to not go, okay? So if we go, for sure, we will not be able to enter, right? If something is closed, it's not a matter of, oh, it's not a good idea to go there. It's closed. But if you want, you can go. It's up to you. Ah, can I go? Oh, yes, but it's closed. Okay, so the best idea here is to use can't, right? So should or shouldn't, I usually say when I want to say that something is a good idea, it's good for you to do, and negative shouldn't when something is not a good idea. But it's optional, okay? I'm just giving my opinion. In my opinion, it's not a good idea. So for example, I can tell you, you shouldn't go out without a mask. That's not a good idea. But if you want, you can. It's up to you. You decide, okay? If you want to go out without a mask, you can. But it's not a good idea. So I can say you shouldn't go out without a mask. All right, people. So let me put this example here. Oops, sorry. In Brazil, nobody pays a fine. Nobody pays a tax. For example, if the person is out in the streets without a mask, the person is not penalized. There is no rule or law penalizing people. Oh, you have to pay 500 reais. There isn't. So if you go out without a mask, it's up to you. You may have some problems entering some places because some places require a mask. So they may not let you go in, but if you want to stay out in the streets without a mask, it's your choice. So here I can't say you can't go out without a mask. I can't because there is no law prohibiting you to go out without a mask, but you decide. So that's why doctors, everybody, they say you shouldn't go out without a mask. If you have to go out, wear a mask. Okay. So let's move on. Here, I'm going to move up and I need to clear the annotation. So did you take a picture? So let me clear, oh, I'm making a confusion here. Sorry, guys. Let me try to, yeah, here. These verbs here are modal verbs, okay? But of course, as I said before, there are some other modal verbs like can, okay, may, might, and each one of them has a meaning. They give a meaning to the sentence. Okay, guys? All right. So, can I go on? Yes, can I clear this annotation? I'm going up to the continuation of number 4, okay? So let me go there. Okay, Kawari, are you feeling better now with modal verbs, especially should or shouldn't? let's go to number 4 here. Look, here it's a question. The first thing I have to see, right? So, oh, it's a question. Good. So what is the meaning of the sentence? Visit that museum. Is it interesting? Oh, so what is the idea of the sentence? Here I have two modal verbs, have to and should. So as it's a question, we need to use auxiliary for the modal verb have to. The auxiliary is do or does, depending on the subject. If it's he, she, or it, the auxiliary verb I use with the modal verb have to changes for does. Does she have to? Okay, guys, here it's do because of the first person singular. Okay, but in all, I have two modal verbs. Now, the first one gives me an idea of necessity. Something is necessary. Is that the idea? Is it necessary to visit that museum? Is it interesting? Or the second modal verb, is it a good idea to visit that museum? Is it interesting? Which one sounds better? The idea of necessity or the idea that I'm asking your opinion? I want to know if it's a good idea to go there. Which one sounds better to you? Yes, of course. Is it a good idea to go? Do you think so? Yes. So then, if I'm asking your opinion and I want to know if it's a good idea to do something, then I use the modal verb should. Okay. So, should I visit that museum? All right. Is it interesting? What do you think? This is the best option. Okay, Kawani. Now, number 5. You have a room with a water view or a garden view. So here we have two modal verbs and we have the word have, talking about a hotel room. I can see that the topic is a hotel room. So with a water view or a garden view. What's the idea of the sentence? Is it talking about possibility or is it talking about a good idea? I'm saying I'm giving two options. Okay, so here I have two options. What is the idea I want to give? That it's something possible to do or it's a good idea to do? I could understand like this. Oh, it's a good idea to have a room with a water view or a garden view. It's a good idea. Okay, but which one? Okay. You can have a room with a water view or a garden view. So it's possible to have a room with a water view or a garden view. So which idea is better? That something is possible or something is just a good idea? Something is possible. So I'm giving you two possibilities here. You can choose, okay? So you can have a room with a water view or a garden view. So in this hotel, you can choose two different kinds of view. You can choose the water view or you can choose the garden view. So the best option here is can. If I were indicating just one view, one kind of view, then I would use should. For example, suppose I didn't have the second part, okay? Suppose, let me click, yeah. Suppose I don't have this one here. I'm just talking about the water view, okay? You have a room with a water view. It's fantastic. suppose, okay? Then here I have to decide. The idea would not be possibility, but it would be it's a good idea. So you should have a room with a water view. It's fantastic. So I'm indicating, I'm giving you my opinion about the room with water view because it's fantastic. It's the best one. So then I use should. But in our sentence, it's not like this. In our sentence, I'm using the idea of two possible rooms you can have: the water view and the garden view rooms. So you can choose. It's possible for you to decide. Okay, guys. All right, so I recommend to practice for this test, I recommend that you go to your Google Classroom postings and you check the days before, like the days in April, even also the classes from the month of March, where we have the exercises from Unit 5. So you can redo the worksheets. Look, here on March 22nd, March 24th, there are some worksheets about the present continuous, the difference between present simple and present continuous, okay? And if you go before that, you have content from Unit 4. I think here, yeah, look, beginning of March, March 1st, March 3rd, you have the use of there is and there are. You can also do that worksheet. And I also post a chart to help you understand when to use which, okay? And then the same thing goes for the other classes. So the beginning of March is a good way to start reviewing. Get the worksheets from the beginning of March and try to do the ones you have more difficulty with, okay? So you can see maybe the things you don't know now very well, you don't feel confident, you can solve your questions and become confident, all right? So people, I think this is the end for today. I would like to take a picture before we go. Okay, so let me go here. Let me stop sharing for a minute. Okay, I'm being washed out again. You know why this happens? Because there is not enough exposition here in the environment. Okay, a little better now. Okay, guys, let me put a gallery view. Let's go here. 1, 2, 3. All right. People, thank you very much. Mateus, can you please tell me if there is anybody else there besides Elias? No, not this one here, this one. No, just Elias? Yes? Okay, all right. So people, thank you very much for coming. Thank you, William. It was very nice to see you. If you have any more questions, just send me a message, okay? I'll try to help you. Thank you, Manu. Thank you, Kawani. Thank you, Giovanni, Rebecca, Elias, Mateus. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much, okay? Next class then, oh, thank you, Manu. Next class, we have our test, okay? Bye-bye, guys. Take care. See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye, guys. Thank you.